Hey you guys, I'm Miro and today I'm going to be talking about this month's bingo, March 2024. In this video, we're going to take a look at this month's 25 task list, and I'll try to provide a step-by-step guide into your bingo adventure. Before we start, I've already made a detailed guide about the perfect bingo start, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'd recommend you do so. Even right now, I'll be waiting. So taking a look at this month's bingo card, you'll see that this bingo pulls you into various directions. It's a very minion heavy bingo, but it consists of a ton of easy tasks. It's also again a bingo that doesn't require Crystal Hollows access. And actually, it doesn't even require Dwarven Mines access, although it would help. Luckily, like with every other bingo, multiple tasks seem to go hand in hand with each other. A perfect example being the required tier 11 minion, which can simply be obtained by completing the Wheat Collector task. So now, let's cover this month's bingo card in at least my assessment of the task's difficulties. Easy. Skilled and Poseidon are both community tasks, but they are completed by simply catching a single sea creature and killing it. Reinforced Reforger. Since you'll need 5000 diamond collection for the Now We're in Business task anyways, it is as simple as to either grind out the 10 enchanted diamonds in the deep caverns to get Dwarven Mines access, or simply mine out the entirety of the 5000 diamond collection requirement in the deep caverns to guarantee yourself a rare diamond. Pair up. Done as simple as getting a single pair in the experimentation table. Esteemed Enchanter. Here, you'll have many options such as the Infinity Quiver 6 or the Feather Falling 6 book from the entrance or floor 1 completion that you'll need anyways for the high score task, or you could also get the Ender Slayer 6 book from the End Island shop. And since fishing is a community task as well, sea creatures tend to drop a ton of tier 6 books without too much luck required. Minion Machine, Skilled Average, Sightseer, and Enderman Slayer are tasks that will most certainly be completed automatically along the way. As you'll need a ton of minions for the high collection tasks anyways, a skill average of 8 is acquired in no time by simply playing. You'll most certainly also visit 7 islands, and killing an Enderman is almost unavoidable as you'll need combat level 15 for dungeon access. Slayer. As you only need any Slayer level 4, it's safe to say that this isn't too hard to achieve. A mushroom armor combined with a super cleaver should be more than enough to get you there. And if that's not enough, a simple carry by a friend on their main profile should do the job. Scarf Offensive. Yet again, a task that's very simple to complete as you've already got to go for high score. The easiest way to achieve this is by asking a friend or getting into a random carry group. Love is all around. This simply requires you to do the 2 first steps of the Romeo Quest with a yellow rock and a stack of emeralds. I'll leave a link for the quest down in the description. Petsitter. Here the easiest choice would be to upgrade a common bee pet into its uncommon rarity. This requires 128 blocks of coal and only takes an hour. Eagle-eyed. Get an artisanal short bow from the weaponsmith and then simply complete 1 target practice. You'll have up to 25 seconds, so this should be easy peasy. And lastly on easy, we have a hard day's work, which is a community task again, so it's not required, but it's simply completed by participating in any Jacob's event by collecting more than 100 of the specific crop. Moving on to medium. High score. A simple task in itself, as you can either ask a friend to give you a helping hand, use a public party, or you can use the Bingo Brewers carry trading channel. The only reason this is labeled as medium is because this is the only task that requires combat level 15 during this month's bingo. To get there, you can either grind out spiders or glaciites until you reach the end, and from there on, you simply kill Endermen. And here it's important to note, you can also drop the Enderman pet for them, helping you out with the pet hoarder task. Lynx. This in itself isn't too hard of a task, but if you haven't done the race or if you haven't done it in a while, it might be worth to watch a video on it and refresh your memory. Other than that, it's as simple as completing 2 races 4 to 4 times, but it will also help out with the Bedazzled task. Speaking about Bedazzled, here's a list of accessories you can get to complete this task. A higher bingo rank will make this easier, as you can not only start out with the personal compactor, but also with the personal deleter, accounting for up to 2 accessories of their own. Now we're in business. The best place to mine up the diamonds for this task is probably the card above the Dwarven Mine spawn. But if you're not interested in entering the Dwarven Mines this bingo, then it's also very feasible to simply grind out the diamond collection down in the deep caverns, which would also help you out finding the rare diamond for the Reinforced Reforger task. And one more lame option would be to use the free compactor given to you by the Lapis Miner for completing his quest. Hard Worker and Wheat Collector, like I stated, go hand in hand, as you'll have enough wheat to craft a tier 11 wheat minion when you finish Wheat Collector. The wheat for this task can be either farmed up in the hub by hopping through lobbies, this requires a rank though, or you can simply use the garden as wheat is the first crop anyways. Next up we have the hard tasks, and even though they only consist of 4, they pack a punch. Gunpowder Collector is one of the hardest tasks in this bingo, as it can't necessarily be farmed by hand and therefore is especially hard to complete. What you would want to do here is get enough gunpowder, 50 to be exact, to unlock the creeper minion recipe. This can be done by either farming up gunpowder in the first layer of the deep caverns by killing sneaky creepers, creepers, or building a dark room on your private island that'll not only spawn creepers but also witches, where both of them can contribute to your gunpowder collection. After you unlock the creeper minion recipe, you can simply buy 10 more stacks of it at the adventurer NPC and craft a ton of the minions. Here, as this is not the only task that might require minions, I'd recommend to get a lot of them. It might sound like a lot, but getting at least 10 to 12 minion slots in this bingo is what I'd recommend. Here, any sort of fuel is also highly recommended, which sadly requires a bit of farming, would be the cheese dropped by rats in the Hob Island. But with a bit of luck, you will also get a red pet helping you out with Pet Hoarder, Lumberjack and Birch wood collector. Normally, I would never advise to use wood minions, and especially in this bingo, as you'll need a ton of your slots for other collections like chicken or gunpowder, it's hard to juggle all of them. But since Birch is by far the hardest wood type to grind for, here again, it's most definitely recommended to at least think about the idea of placing a couple of minions. But as Lumberjack requires foraging level 20, you'll need to do a bit of grinding by hand either way. No matter if you're grinding Birch or other wood types that reward you with a bit more foraging XP, here a jungle axe will most definitely help quite a bit. And lastly, we got Pet Hoarder. And if you think the last tasks weren't a walk in the park, then most certainly you wouldn't like this one either. 12 unique pets isn't actually too bad, but it at least contains a bit of timing and luck with RNG. Here's a list of my recommended pets. Most of these pets require an enchanted egg. Therefore, I'd recommend to get a chicken minion and use a setup like this to simply wait for 5 eggs to spawn. And once you unlock the recipe, you can then craft a chicken head and start spawning eggs. You'll need quite a ton of them, and even for the very first enchanted egg, you'll need 2,500 chicken collection to even craft it. After you've gotten your first though, you can place it inside the minion to generate even more eggs. The last couple of pets, such as the Enderman and Tarantula, will require some luck, but they can also be replaced with other pets, like for example pets from the traveling zoo or from events like the reindeer from the Jerry Island. Alrighty. If you're still here and just some of the stuff I talked about was helpful to you in the slightest way possible, I'd really appreciate a like. And if you're interested in getting a bingo guide every month from now, then feel free to subscribe as well. This bingo is also pretty compatible with lower bingo ranks. You'll have a much easier time with a personal compactor, but all in all, the crafting, especially since most of this bingo's hard tasks can be done with minions, shouldn't be too big of an issue. Either way, a sack, especially if you want to play in the garden, is always something to think about when you play on a lower bingo rank. For people starting late, there sadly isn't too much change. The biggest difference is going to be the minion usage, and since a ton of this month's bingo's hardest tasks heavily depend on it, I'd recommend to start as soon as possible. Here's one last look at this month's bingo, and I wish you all the very best of luck for it. I'd appreciate any sort of feedback, and if you have any questions, then feel free to ask them down in the comment section below. But this is it for now, and see ya!